Welcome everyone to this hybrid meeting of Executive. Please note that the meeting is being broadcast and recorded. For clarity, voting is only permitted by the members who are present in the room. Any members joining the meeting remotely are able to participate in the debate but are not able to vote. But I don't think there's any members joining online. Thank you. Agenda item 1, apologies for absence. Are there any apologies?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I've had apologies from Councillors Neil and Bidwell. Everyone else is present.
Thank you very much. Item 2, declaration of interest. Members are asked to declare any disclosable pecuniary or affected interest in respect of any matter to be considered at this meeting. Any member with a disclosable pecuniary interest in a matter should withdraw from the meeting when the matter is under consideration and should notify the Democratic Services officer in attendance that they are withdrawing as they have such an interest. If the disclosable pecuniary interest is not entered on the register of members' interests, the monitoring officer must be notified of the interest within 28 days. Any member with an affected interest in a matter must disclose the interest to the meeting. There is no requirement to withdraw from the meeting when the interest is only an affected interest, but the monitoring officer should be notified of the interest, if not previously notified of it, within 28 days of the meeting. Item 3, minutes of the meeting. To consider and approve the minutes of the meeting executive held on the 23rd of April 2024. Are members happy to approve the minutes of this meeting? Okay, thank you. I confirm the minutes. Can I have, as a true record, can I ask for a seconder, please?
Councillor Jeffries, leader, will second that.
Thank you. Can I ask all those in favour to raise their hands for voting, please? Thank you. Agenda item 4, urgent matters of business. Are there any urgent matters of business?
No, none notified, Chair.
Never have any, but there you go. Right, item 5. This is the approval of the Youth Strategy 2024 to 27. And I'd like to invite, here we are, Audrey Johnson, thank you very much, to speak to this. You're very welcome. So can you present the item, please?
Thank you, Chair. I'm asking the Executive to note the feedback from young people, families and professionals on the plan to devise a youth strategy for the next 3 years, which provides a clear vision for the future of youth provision within Bracknell Forest. I'm also asking the Executive to note the plan to revise the operating model of the Targeted Youth Support Service to facilitate the delivery of the action plan to deliver the strategy. In addition, we ask the Executive to note the plan to coordinate youth work activity delivered by partners across the borough, utilising external funding, including 117,000 of time-limited grant funding to create a cohesive youth work offer for Bracknell Forest young people. The strategy has been out to consultation. We've had extensive consultation with young people, a range of young people across the borough, including in schools, within the community, and youth work and youth justice. We've also consulted with a range of partners across the borough, the parish council, social housing providers, internal partners, and a range of external partners, including the Parent and Carer Forum. I'm asking the Executive to agree the 3-year strategy for the youth provision in Bracknell. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Can I ask, has anyone got any questions? Councillor Purnell?
Thank you, Chair. Just a couple of questions, Audrey. Firstly, will future budgets be able to support the plans once the external funding is used? And secondly, when can we have the day to celebrate the contributions that young people make to the borough?
Thank you. The future budget, we will be working with a range of partners across the whole of the youth provision. This delivery of the strategy will not solely be based on the budgets of the local authority, but will be on a range of internal and external partners. We will also be leveraging external funding. The aim is, over the time of the strategy, is to build a cohesive offer that leverages and really draws on the whole range of funding that is available to the youth service. So it's not just the local authority funding, it's a whole range of funding that's available to smaller organisations and voluntary sector as well. In terms of the day to celebrate young people, we will be expecting to have the day within a school holiday, but we will be working with young people to help us to determine the best time to have that day. We want to avoid times when young people will be studying for exams and days when they may be under pressure. So we will be working with young people to find the right date for that day. Thank you.
Can I ask just to follow up on that? That I went to a presentation by the National Youth Agency, and there they said that there was quite a lot of youth work being paid for and supplied by funding from the health budget, public health. Are we using that in Bracknell Forest, please?
Thank you, Chair. We are working with colleagues in public health, and where we can, we are utilising the public health grant. There are a number of areas already being delivered by the youth service that are funded by public health, and we have negotiated some more funding around this, in particular around young carers. So where it is possible, we are utilising the public health grant.
Good news. Thank you. Councillor Jeffries.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Audrey. In section 6.7, priority 1, on feedback that we got from the youth, it said they are worried about being exploited and want to talk to people they trust, and how to keep safe and manage risk. My question around that, Audrey, is I can see we've got the mitigations on the right column and the involvement from different organisations within the council. My question is, do we have enough dedicated resources for that? Thank you.
In terms of exploitation, one of the key areas that we do focus on is prevention, and that's a whole system approach and response to prevention. So that is picking up children and young people at the earliest possible time to prevent harm. So that means that we would work with a range of partners to identify those children and young people who are most at risk. That would be working with our schools, working with our partners in health, working with our colleagues in the police. So really the prevention piece is how we really identify young people early, and there is sufficient resource if it is coordinated robustly to meet that need. And I would give some reassurance in terms of the borough. Bracknell Forest is a low crime borough. We are aware of the incidents of exploitation, and to give some reassurance that we are confident that it is low, but we absolutely will work with a range of partners to ensure that we identify those who are at risk, and indeed those who are being exploited, and to ensure that there is a robust response for each one of those individuals, but also to identify cohorts of young people that may be at risk moving forward. There is sufficient resource, but it's how we harness that resource across the partnership, and that's the key to this. Is not that it's the sole responsibility of the local authority, but it's how we work with a range of partners to use all of the resources that are available in the borough.
Thank you, Audrey. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Right.
Thank you, Audrey. I think you might have already answered my question when you answered to Councillor Jeffries. My question was, when you did the consultation, you weren't able to speak to any youth from the traveller community, and I just wondered if there's anything within the strategy to reach this hard to reach group. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Councillor Wright. There isn't anything explicitly in the strategy to reach this very vulnerable group. However, we do have a duty under the new guidance to identify all of the vulnerable groups that are within our area and to make a concerted effort to not only identify them but to engage with them. So we will absolutely ensure that that's one of the things that we do. We have a statutory obligation and obviously a moral obligation to do that. So we will absolutely do that.
Thank you.
One final question from me, or I don't know if anyone else wants, but one question from me is that there was a 2023 government refresh statutory guidance, and this report, our strategy has now come out. Does our strategy align very well with the government's advice on their on their strategy of 2023, please?
Thank you, Chair. I have read the statutory guidance for local authorities youth provision, and it's called the Statutory Guidance for Local Authorities on Services to Improve Young People's Wellbeing. And I'm confident that we are fully compliant. One of the first things that's contained within the strategy, within the guidance, is to do a needs assessment before you create your strategy, which is what we did. We did a needs assessment using a range of different data sets. We engaged with a number of children and young people, parents, carers and partners to really understand what the needs were in Bracknell Forest, and then to create a strategy that met those needs and also to identify gaps. Moving forward, in terms of some of the priorities that are contained within the guidance, I've literally mapped across each of the points in the guidance, and I'm confident that we are fully compliant. And aspects of the action plan explicitly match the statutory guidance. So we will have oversight of the delivery of the action plan to make sure that we do continue to be compliant with the guidance. But I am confident, and I have kind of matched across the priorities in the strategy, the rationale behind the strategy, behind the guidance, and I'm confident that we are fully compliant.
Thank you. Excellent. Thank you. Are there any other questions? Can I ask a member to move the recommendations, please? Councillor Bailey?
Yes, Councillor Bailey, I'm delighted to move this recommendation.
I would like to second the recommendation because I too am pretty passionate about this and very glad to move it. Councillor Bailey, would you like to speak?
Councillor Bailey, again. This is an important step forward in ensuring the borough is a place where children, young people and their families can live safely and thrive. It is based on feedback from young people, their parents and carers, and people who work with our children and young people. Over the past 6 months, the Council has been asking young people, families and practitioners about what is important to them and how we can improve the services that we offer. During the consultation, some themes were identified, including tackling bullying, feeling safe when moving about the borough, greater access to information on subjects like mental and sexual health, having space to be young and to do youth activities without being judged, championing young carers, greater opportunity to get involved in the democratic process, having greater access to youth workers for support. It was acknowledged that professionals young people were in contact with were respectful, understanding and listened to them. The strategy reflects these comments and the ambitions mentioned during the consultation. It gives 5 key areas of focus over the next 3 years. We want to keep young people safe and intervene early to prevent and reduce harm. We will support young people to make informed decisions about their health and well-being. We will develop a multi-agency offer of support for young carers. We will create more opportunities for young people to participate in democratic engagement across their communities. We will invest in the workforce to support youth workers, professionals and develop a pathway for young people to have a career in youth and early help work. Our young people are a really important part of our community, and we know we must continue to support them and improve what is available for them locally. This new youth strategy sets out how we will do that based on what they've told us and they want us to focus on. Successful youth work and activities enable young people to develop and thrive. It helps them to find their voice and their place in society. This is an exciting plan to help all our young people reach their full potential and feel safe, secure and valued in their hometown. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bailey. For seconding, I would just like to say that this is a really thorough piece of work involving so much cooperation and so much co-production involving particularly youth. And I believe this is an investor save in every way. I particularly like the idea of supporting youth workers' professional develop pathways for young people to have a career in youth work. So really we'd be growing our own. So I think this is really, really a good piece of work, and thank you for producing it. Else who would like to speak? Councillor Bailey would like to wind up.
Chair, I think I've said all that needs to be said. I endorse what the leader has said. Really imaginative piece of work. It's thoroughgoing and rigorous, and I'm really delighted to support it, and thank you.
Can I ask all those in favour of this, passing these recommendations, to raise their hands, please? Thank you. Item 6 is the outcome of the College Hall Pupil Referral Unit consultation. And I'm inviting, I think it's Dwayne Chappell to present this. Are you there, Dwayne?
Yes, I'm here. Can you see me?
Yes, we can,
Yeah.
and very welcome.
Yes, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so the recommendation for the executive today is to agree the closure of College Hall Pupil Referral Unit, which is included as part of the Council's safety valve proposals. In July of last year, 2023, a detailed analysis into the dedicated schools grant was undertaken, which includes the high needs block. In terms of the potential closure of College Hall emerged as an option for the council to consider, and a sort of consultation was undertaken with both the school staff and the public. In addition to the consultation, the management committee also wrote to the Department for Education and suggested that the College Hall was no longer financially viable in terms of operation. As part of the public consultation, we received 57 responses to the consultation. 19 of those responses agreed with the proposal to close, 35 disagreed, 1 neither agreed or disagreed, and 2 were I don't know. Of the 35 that disagreed to the submission, to the closure, one of the sort of main theme that was prevalent amongst them disagreements were actually the need for more specialist provision within Bracknell Forest, which I'm pleased to say that is already in the plan, and we are going ahead with building new provision for our children. So in terms, as I said, in terms of the closure, we are looking to close College Hall as of the 31st of August this year. And I'm happy to take any questions around that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Are there any questions? Councillor Purnell?
Thank you, Chair. I've seen a lot of talk on social media regarding this closure, potential closure, and one of the main themes of that is what about the children that are current pupils? Can you just confirm what will be happening with those currently at the school? Thank you.
Yes, so there's been extensive work done with the children and young people at College Hall. Currently, the Year 11s are sitting their exam, and when they finish, they will go on to their post-16 provision. The Year 10s, we have put packages in for some of the children there, and at the moment, there is only one child in Year 10 that we need to put a package in. The other children have gone back to mainstream schools through the process of the fair access protocol. So at the moment, it's only one child, and what we will be putting in place is EOTAS education otherwise and at school provision, which will be a bespoke package for that child.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Councillor Gilby?
Thank you for that summary. Noting the inadequate rating received at its last inspection, should we as the executive agree to close the unit, what lessons nevertheless will we learn from that inspection report and carry over?
Yes, I mean, in terms of that inspection report and the outcomes from the inspection, we have, in terms of College Hall, we had provided quite a lot of support. There was a lot of change in management over the period of 3 years, and I think that's something we have noted. We are going to do a reflective piece of work once the College Hall has been agreed to close. In terms of our steps, our school improvement standards team, they have worked closely with College Hall over the years, and we will continue, you know, to work with our schools as and when we close the College Hall. So, you know, we are going to spend a session to get, you know, with the team at College Hall, the management team, as well as local authority officers, to look at lessons learned in terms of how we could have perhaps supported in a different way.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? No more questions? Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Afraid I'm going to be like that tonight. Thank you for the answer to that question. My last question is, can you please describe the differences in the teaching approach between the PRU and the proposed SEMH school? Thank you.
Yeah, so a pupil referral unit is necessary for children with special educational needs. The provision normally with the PRUs are for children that have been permanently excluded from school. Albeit we do know that the vast majority of children that do attend pupil referral units may have an unidentified special education needs. So the difference between the SEMH school, which the council have funded, is that will be a specialist school for children with SMH, social, emotional, mental health needs, and there will be specialist staff there to teach these children. Additionally, the children to access the SMH school will be those that are in receipt of an education, health and care plan, so will have an actual identified need and a high level need. So it'll be more of a specialist provision rather than a revolving door intervention for children and young people.
Thank you.
Councillor Jeffreys?
Thank you, Chair. My question is also, I suppose, safeguarding around the staff. As we know, last year we had the unfortunate incident with a head teacher when she received the negative Ofsted report. What have we also done to ensure that the staff involved as well are also being looked after and have been, looked after? I'll stop there.
Yeah, so in terms of the sort of work that's been done with the school staff, I meet weekly and have met weekly with the head teacher and with the management committee, and these are regular meetings that have been taking place. In terms of the sort of council websites and signposting to counselling services, also our HR department has been involved, and Jane Sherwood, who's part of that team, has gone out into the school to support staff as best they can. In my regular meetings with the head teacher at College Hall, the main theme is the well-being of staff as well, and I have attended College Hall on many occasions over the past few months as well, to ensure I have, can keep them up to date as best as I've been able to in terms of where we've been regarding the closure. HR will continue to work with the staff as we go through the process. If sort of exec agree tonight to the closure of working with staff around redeployment and around redundancy packages.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Can I ask a member, please, to propose these recommendations? Councillor Bailey, thank you.
Thank you, Leader. I propose we move these recommendations.
Can I have a seconder? I will second that. Thank you. Councillor Bailey, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Councillor Roy Bailey. The closure of the PRU comes following College Hall's Management Committee advising the Department for Education that it considered the school to be no longer financially viable. Additionally, College Hall was deemed inadequate by Ofsted during its inspection in July 2023, citing poor outcomes for children and young people. A public consultation on the potential closure ran between the 11th of March and 24th of April. Following the confirmation of the closure, the finances allocated to College Hall PRU will be used to enhance the overall educational provision for children in the local area. This includes a new social, emotional and mental health school. The Council is investing significantly in new provision that is fit for purpose to create more local capacity for young people with special educational needs. It is important to consider the closure of the PRU in the context of the wider plans to develop and improve specialist provision within the borough. When closed, the finances allocated to the PRU will be redirected to the new local SEND provision. These facilities include a new special SEMH school for secondary pupils and 2 secondary special resource provisions for pupils with autism and communication and interaction needs. Year 11 students will complete their education at College Hall without disruption, with personalised plans for post-16 education. Steps will be taken to ensure a smooth educational transition for the remaining pupils at the PRU. The process will involve working with the young people, their parents and carers, and the staff currently working with them at College Hall. A personalised approach will be adopted to address individual needs, ensuring a continuation of education support tailored to each student's requirements. The expectation is that these students will be accessing appropriate provision by the beginning of the new academic year. Finally, can I thank Dwayne Chappell for the thoroughgoing and rigorous way that she's approached this. I've been kept updated at every stage, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak? Councillor Gilby?
Thank you, Chair. To close the PRU is not a decision to be taken lightly, but what is clear from what we've heard is that despite the best efforts of staff involved, who I commend, what we have right now isn't working. Ofsted's inadequate rating is one thing, but so is its lack of financial viability. However, what is equally clear is we can do better. The consultation received widespread support from educators that a changed approach is best for all involved and offers greater opportunities for our students. I'm excited by the plans for a new SEMH school, I knew I'd do that, as well as the other provisions outlined in the report, and I support the recommendations as written. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak? As I'd like to speak. I'd just like to reiterate my support for this. It's a difficult decision, but in autumn 2023, the head teachers in the workshop conducted revealed unanimous agreement that College Hall PRU is no longer fit for purpose, given the current needs of our young people in the borough. And then a letter was sent from all secondary head teachers supporting the closure and advocating the opening of a new social, emotional and mental health school. By the closure and the sale of College Hall, the finances will be able to provide this. There were 4 provisions proposed for SEMH and SEND provision in our borough, keeping our local provision for local children. These are Sandhurst, which hopefully will be open in September 24. I've checked on this and we're all online, so it's go, go, go. In Edgeborough, in Warfield and in Butlers Park. So there's rapid pace to place in our local borough provision for the children so they do not have to travel outside, but also the sort of provision that will make sure that they have a positive educational journey. And I'm sure that it will be successful, and I recommend this recommendation. I support this recommendation, sorry. Would the mover like to speak?
No, thank you, Chair. I've said all that I need to say. Thank you.
And all those in favour of these recommendations, 2.1, 2.2 on page 111, please raise your hands. Thank you. I confirm that the meeting has ended and ask the live stream is ended too. Thank you for your attendance.